everyone on Zoom see the presentation and hear me?
Kristen can, but it will be enough.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah. Sure. Sure. Perfect. Okay. So I want to give you just an overview of the financial part and also give you enough time to ask questions. I'm going to be here, I can help you. We have also Christine on Zoom. She is the former CLIC administrator who was in charge of all the financial aspect of RiC Country. So she has a lot of knowledge from past years. And we have Sahmin from the financial aid office who could also guide you a little bit. What may happen is that you may have some specific questions. So I think today we are going to focus more on the more generic aspect of the financial side of these programs. If you have a particular situation that you want to talk about, then we can work with you and with the financial aid office if there is something that is specific about your case, because we do want you to have all the information necessary for you to make an informed decision before applying or before making a decision about RiC Country. Okay, does it make sense? Okay, so let me just.
You want me to change this?
I want, if you can do that, that would be great. So I don't need to
Okay.
be moving from here to there. Okay, so the RICE scholarships for RiC Country are divided the way you see in the screen. So we have students who receive RICE need-based aid from the financial aid office. They will receive two kinds of scholarships for RiC Country. One that comes from RICE directly for the summer programs, and the CLIC need-based scholarship, okay? And I'm gonna explain to you a little bit how we make that decision and how we divide and how much comes from each part. And that will kind of allow you to understand why we can't tell you ahead of time how much money is going to be available for each of you before you apply. That's something that you are going to learn later on, and you may understand today why that is. Students who don't receive any RICE need-based aid also are eligible to receive a CLIC merit scholarship. So the moment that you apply for RiC Country, we are going to evaluate your application and your interview, your performance during the interview, and then based on your performance and how well you do on the application, you may receive a CLIC merit scholarship. So there are two types of CLIC scholarship, the need-based and the merit scholarship, okay? So how does the need-based aid works? So the Office of Financial Aid, and this comes from the university level, all the students who are degree-seeking RICE undergraduate students and are receiving any percentage of financial aid from the financial aid office will receive an equivalent to 50% of summer tuition. So the summer tuition for RiC Country is $6,000. If you are receiving any financial aid from RICE, you are eligible to receive $3,000 from RICE into your program. So you are already in half tuition mode, let's say, okay? This is up to 9 credits. So you need to make sure, you need to look into your past. Have you received financial aid for the summer before? For how many credits? If you have received financial aid for the summer before, remember that you are eligible to receive up to 9 credits of financial aid during the summertime, okay? So that's an important information. So that is what comes from RICE. Then what do we do at Click? Once we have all the applicants for all the programs, we are going to send the names of the students to the financial aid office, and they are going to rank the students based on how much from the high need to the low need, depending on how much help you receive from the university, okay? So once you are ranked, then based on that ranking process, Click is going to decide how much money we are going to give to each student. So let's say you are high need, you receive more money from the university. You are also going to receive more money from Click at that point. High need students are very likely to receive $3,000 from Click, which means that you are going to have full scholarship for RiC Country at the end, okay? The lower in need level you are, the less money you receive from Click, okay? Because we don't know how many students are going to apply, how many students who are receiving financial aid from the university are going to apply, and how, sorry about that, and how they are in the need level, how many high need we are going to have, how many low need we are going to have. It's impossible for us to let you know ahead of time how many 3,000 scholarships we have, how many 2,500 we have, how many 1,000 we have. This is something that you are going to learn the moment you receive your acceptance letter. So once you do the process of application, you do your interview, then we are going to have a process of acceptance of the students, make all the calculations of the financial aid component, and then we are going to send you an acceptance letter that also includes how much money you are going to get in terms of scholarships. Once you have that acceptance letter, then you can make a decision. Okay, this is enough for me to go. Okay, maybe it's not enough, but I can borrow some money. Maybe I can apply for something else. Maybe I can save some money until next summer and I'll be able to go. Or no, this is impossible. I'm not going to be able to make it, okay? That's the point in which you are going to be able to make a decision. So then moving to the Click Merit Scholarship, we have on average 1 or 2 merit scholarships per program for RiC in France, for RiC in Spain, for RiC in Egypt, for RiC in Italy, okay? The amount will vary and it goes up to $3,000, okay? The merit is based, as I told you, on your GPA, your statement, and your interview in the process of application. So that's how we decide the merit-based scholarship. If you have received, let's say you are high need and you have received $6,000 from the need-based money, and you are also very meritorious and you receive the merit scholarship, you may use that money towards your airfare, for example, okay? That has happened in the past and it's possible. We also have a Click Merit Scholarship for students who are studying a language that does not have a RiC in Country program. So let's suppose that the students who are studying Portuguese, for example, we don't have a RiC in Country program for Portuguese right now, they also want to go abroad. They can also apply for the Click Merit Scholarship. So if you are not in a RiC in Country program, but you are studying a language and you still want to go abroad, you can also try to apply for the Click Merit Scholarship. And it's up to $3,000, and you have a description of the eligibility. You may have taken 2 courses in the target language at Click. You need to have A or B in your language courses. your GPA needs to be at least 3, and you need to have a program that you want to go to. This can be used towards a summer program, and it can also be used towards a semester-long program, okay? Students who can't receive CLIC scholarships. So unfortunately, we don't have scholarships for graduate students at CLIC. We don't offer scholarship for seniors who graduate in May of 2022. So if you are graduating, unfortunately, you can still go to RiC Country, but you cannot receive a scholarship from CLIC if you graduate before the program happens. So, and I also listed for you other sources of money, and you can also talk to the financial aid. They will guide you on that. So the financial aid office has information about loans that you can take. All the Pell Grant recipients can apply to the Gilman Scholarship, and the Gilman Scholarship will support you in many different ways. It can be used, the money can be used towards tuition, board, meals, books, local transportation. It's very flexible. Even if you need to pay for your visa, they will help you with that. If you go to their social media, they will have information about upcoming info sessions on their scholarships, and you can attend their info session. I think now they are doing info sessions virtually. I talked a little bit with Asian Studies. They told me that they don't have scholarships, so you just consider that information. I also talked to the School of Engineering. They don't have a scholarship for any students in engineering, but if there is a student in engineering who really wants to go to one of our programs and is struggling financially, they told me that they can work towards helping the student to find money. So if you are in that situation, talk to me, and I'll be happy to contact the dean's office in the School of Engineering and working with you to see where we can get money to help you to go to one of our RiC Country programs. And I think that's it. So this is basically the bulk of the information about the financial aid part, but I want to give you the opportunity to ask questions and clarify everything that you need to know to make your decision. So I don't know if we have, go ahead.
Will the interview be conducted in English or the language that you're trying to go into?
We usually conduct the interview in English, unless for RiC in Spain, do you interview in English or?
Combination.
A combination of the two? Because for RiC in Spain, it's a more advanced program. So in Japanese too, you combine the two, Naoko?
Yes.
Yeah, so you will have, I mean, I think the most important part of the interview is to really have a common understanding and communicate what you need to communicate. So a bilingual interview makes sense. You do conduct them in English or in French?
I was used to do it in English till this year, that I'm gonna have to decide, but I think that when I have conducted interviews, I am more interested, I mean, I have a lot of my own students in my class, I already get to know them, but I'm more also curious about their level of maturity, responsibility, dedication, so I really want them to be able to express themselves and being able to hear them versus struggling with the language, and I already know if I ask them questions in the target language, the focus will be more the language and they're gonna be already very stressed out, so they may not be able to give me good answers that I'm really looking for to figure out if they're a good fit for the program. For me, the interview as a faculty leader is more, are you a good fit? The language, I have your GPA, I have your grades in that language, or you are my student, so I can determine that. And you have taken a specific course that make you eligible for the program. So yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Is the 3,000 solely just tuition, or does that include anything else?
So the tuition, the 6,000 is for the 2 courses that you guys are gonna take abroad. This includes your lodging, either with a family or in a faculty dorm, depending on the country you are going to. And this includes breakfast and dinner. So what is on you for the rising country? This is very important information. Thank you for that question. What is on you beyond the 6,000 is your airfare, your lunches, and your pocket money for any money that you want to spend or you need to spend. So that's on you. It will depend on the program, but usually what we recommend or what we have in mind for most of the programs is for the students to have around 9,000. So 6,000 for the tuition and roughly 3,000, that will be the combination of the airfare plus the money that you are going to spend abroad. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
For the merit scholarships, you mentioned that it could go to like need-based scholarship people as well. So I was wondering like if there's a priority for people who don't get need-based scholarship, or it's just the best in general?
Yeah, we don't, the merit scholarship and the need-based scholarship, we really separate them. So if you have a need, you are going to receive an amount of money that really is related to how much need you have. If we are in the merit, we are usually going to rank the students based on how well how good the application is, and we are going to give the merit scholarship to the top applicants. Okay? So if you don't receive the need-based money, do a really good job in your application. Yes, go ahead.
Just to confirm, I know for the past 2 years, RICE has decreased the cost of their tuition. So this year it's going back up to $1,000, or at least for this program, to $1,000 per credit hour.
Yes, I mean, this, because it doesn't include only the credits, it includes also your lodging there and meals and excursions and everything, all the expenses. You have to think that this pays for your language partners there. This pays for community engagement. This pays the families that are going to receive you. So it's not only the local faculty who is going to teach you. So it's a combination, the classroom that we need to rent abroad for these courses to happen. So it's really, when you are paying the 6,000, it's not only for the credits, it's also for the whole program, except for the airfare and one of the meals per day. So to tell you the truth, we are trying to make magic to make these programs happen, because the tuition was 6,000 before, and with the pandemic, the prices have gone up so much that it has been a long and painful negotiation with the local providers to keep the prices at a level that these programs are still possible for us, because it has been really difficult. If they want to increase the prices, and we can't, otherwise we need to cancel all the programs. So we are really negotiating hard with the local providers to be able to have the programs happen. So unfortunately, there's no way we could have these programs with a lower tuition, unfortunately. That's why we really want to guarantee that everybody who needs help can receive help. And that's my goal. I mean, we want to increase more money for Rising Country. We want to have more donors and endowments for Rising Country in the future, because it is one of my goals to make sure that this program keeps happening and also include the students who cannot pay this tuition.
We have a few questions online. One student
Yes, go
asked, does that also apply to RICE in Spain? Lunch isn't covered. Do you have?
Yes, I can answer that question. The last time that we did the program, 2019, lunch was included
Okay.
in the tuition. So I would have to wait until we talk about the budget and see the changes in prices. Hopefully it won't apply, and we will make the best so that the lunch is included. But right now I cannot guarantee. What I can tell you is that it has been done like that. So we expect to continue to have the lunch included in the fee. And the cafe, the place where students had lunch was very good, so. So it was something that students looked forward to.
Okay, that's awesome.
Perfect, thank you guys. I just wanna make sure that people who are on Zoom could hear her, I don't know,
I can type it.
I can put it. And for excursions, if do they come out of pocket money? No, excursions are included in the tuition for all programs. And then the last question, is the 3,000 the maximum you can receive from RiC if you receive ed or just the baseline?
It's 3,000 from RiC. It's 3,000 across the board. It doesn't matter where you fall in terms of need with the financial aid office. Everybody, if you receive a little bit of money from RiC or if you receive full tuition waiver, you are going to receive 3,000. But if you are high need, you are going to receive more money from CLIC. So there is a high possibility of you receiving, combining the two, full tuition. Who else? Yes, go ahead.
More or less, when could we expect to know whether we got accepted and how much we're receiving in aid?
So we have you apply until end of January. And then, I can't remember the date.
It was the 26th.
So
So the
26th.
26th, we will be, that's the last day that you can apply.
Apply, but then
But then in February, I think February 19th, that's when we're gonna let you know.
we are gonna let you know. So until, I know that you guys are anxious about that because you want to look into other opportunities for the summer if you don't get to go to RiC Country, correct? Am I guessing this correctly? So
You do have all the important dates under each page. So as you can see, the application opens on December 1st. And then we do have decision and scholarship notification is on February 2nd. And then the acceptance and deposit will be on February 23rd.
Yeah, so you guys will, at the beginning of the next semester, you will know.
She has a question.
Yes,
So we apply like during the December 1st, January 26th window, and then are the interviews after that?
the interview is after that.
It depends. We do have some languages that as soon as the faculty receive your application, they start scheduling the interviews. But personally, myself, I have always waited for everyone to apply and then I have done the interviews. You may wanna check with your faculty leader. Depends on the program too.
I have a question about what qualifies as financial aid. So for example, if a student is on the Quest Bridge scholarship, do they receive financial aid from the Office of Financial Aid? If a student has a federal loan, does that qualify as financial aid as well?
That's a good question. Maybe Sahmin could answer that. That's for you.
Yes. Can you guys hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So what qualifies you for financial aid is need-based aid, which does not include loans. So any sort of RICE grants, RICE investment grant, you mentioned Quest Bridge, that would qualify you. Any of those scholarships or grants would qualify you into the need-based pool, which we cover 50% for then. And then if you don't qualify, you can take out loans for the summer for this program as well, but we wouldn't be able to commit to that 50% fulfillment.
I think somebody has a question.
Samin, can you also confirm that if students took courses the past 2 summers when there was that reduced tuition rate, and if they used the grant for that, I think that is not included in the 9 credit hours.
Correct. So the past two summers do not include.
So all the 2 summers where the tuition was reduced do not count towards the maximum of 9 credits.
Yes.
So that's really good news.
That was my question.
Okay, perfect.
That was my question.
Perfect.
Anything else? Yes, go ahead.
So because we're receiving 6 credit hours in total, or at least for RiC in Spain, the 2 courses, would that count towards that 6 credits for that summer reduced tuition as well?
Yeah, so if you receive 50% financial aid for this summer for Rising Country, this will count towards the maximum of 9 credits. So you can count, you have received 6 credits, there's 3 more that you can receive for the summer. Okay?
Sorry. For Pell Grant recipients, I know like sometimes that like if you take a certain amount of credit hours, like 6 hours per se, then Pell Grant will give you a scholarship for the summer. So is that applicable for our tuition for Rising Country?
I don't know, Sahmin, do you know that? Did you hear
Yes.
that question?
Yes, I did. So yes, if you are a Pell Grant recipient, you could potentially get more than that 3,000 covered. We can't give you the exact amount right now. It's definitely student dependent and how much of the Pell Grant you're receiving during the year. But yes, as a general answer, if you are a Pell Grant recipient, you could get more than that 3,000. It just can never go above that 6,000 that is being billed to you.
And I just wanted to add, if you're a Pell Grant recipient, you should definitely apply for the Gilman Scholarship, which can give you additional money for spending money. And one of the great things about this scholarship is it also gives you this pre-qualification. If you were ever interested in going into a government job, you get this kind of pre-qualification where you bypass some hoops that you have to jump through. And especially if you're thinking about going to Japan or Korea, those are, or I think also Egypt, are probably all less commonly taught languages that you'd be a very competitive candidate.
Yes, and we do have people, we have Kelsey in the Center for Civic Leadership and Yahaira in the Study Abroad office who worked with the Gilman Scholarship before coming to RiC, so they know everything about the Gilman Scholarship. So if you want some help and some advice about that, Kelsey already told me that she would be happy to help. So if you need help with that, she would definitely help you. Go ahead, Jose.
What about the Boren Scholarship? From the online description on their website, it seems like our Rising Country programs would qualify, but also they have different deadlines from ours.
I don't know. Christine or Sahmin, do you
What was
guys?
the name?
Boren, B-O-R-E-N.
Is this through RiC or external?
It's through the Department of Education, I think. It's external.
That's not something that we know about. I mean, we can see if we can consider it. You can email us and find out, but it's not something at the top of my head that we've looked at before.
Okay. Sounds good, thank you.
Anything else? Yes.
The Pell Grant thing that Sami mentioned, is that automatically considered for us by the RiC Financial Aid Office for need-based, or do we have to apply separately?
I think it's automatic, right, Sahmin?
Yeah, so if you receive the Pell Grant for fall 2021 and spring 2022, then you would qualify for that summer Pell Grant. Again, it depends on how much you were getting, but that would be the qualification and no other steps are needed from you.
This is really good news, yeah.
Does that count after you've reached like your 9 credit hours?
For the Pell Grant?
Yeah.
Sahmin, do you know that if they reach the 9 credits, the Pell Grant they can still use it, or then they also have reached the limit for the summer?
I think the 9 credit hours is the limit.
The limit.
Really? Oh, no, I'm just asking because I'm a Pell Grant recipient and I've used my Pell Grant for more than like I've used it for like 12 credit hours. So
In the summer.
That's because we had these 2 summers that didn't count towards that credit hour limit.
Was it
That's
during
kind of-
2020 and
because the Pell
2021?
Grant comes from the federal government.
Yeah,
I mean,
Sahmin,
like,
that's on
I'm
you.
sorry, I didn't hear that. What did she say?
Is this like the money that comes, the Pell Grant that comes from RISE, or is it like the grant that comes from the federal government?
Pell Grant comes from the federal government, but it goes into the need-based kind of pool of our financial aid. So if you want us to look at specifics, we can look that up for you if you email us. But as a general thing, it only applies for the year. So I can't tell you about the future or past or anything like that.
Yeah, so I think that if you are in that situation, the best way to go is to email the financial aid office and explain a little bit what your situation is, that they will look it up for you.
Yes, and I'll put our email in the chat box for your convenience.
Anything else? Anything else from the kids online?
No, there is nothing else online.
Do our faculty leaders want to say anything before we go?
The only thing I'm gonna say to all students is that based on my experience, sometimes students in the past, because they are not sure how much money they're gonna get, they're not sure about their condition, their situation, they won't apply, then later they regret, then we can't take them back. My recommendation is that you don't lose anything applying. They can look into your situation, they will let you know how much money you get or you don't get, and then at that time, on February 2nd, you can make a decision about your summer, but at least you have choices. If you miss that deadline of applications, there is no way we can accept anyone late and make an exception. So if you are interested and you're just not sure how much money, nobody will know that till all the names, they go to the financial aid office and the decision is made. So just apply, and then later on, if you see that financially is not affordable for you, then well, worst case scenario, you don't go, but at least you do have a choice. Otherwise, the other way around is very difficult. Just that's my only recommendation.
Yeah, I think that's a very good advice. Apply, it's a statement. Go and apply, and then
And
we'll figure
please
it
take
out.
your essay seriously. We've had students in the past that really the essay, I mean, I'm reading it and I have no idea where these sentences are coming from. They are not answering the questions. So they take it seriously, because if the program is competitive and we have to make a decision and we have to make a selection, the essay would matter, and we're gonna have to rank your essay. So take it seriously.
Yes.
It is in English, so it shouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah, the essay will perhaps qualify you for the Click Merit Scholarship. And it may, if the program is really competitive, like RiC in Spain, for example, be a decision maker in between you making into the program or not. So do take it seriously. Okay, thank you so much for coming. Thank you. I hope I answered most of your questions. If not, don't hesitate to contact us. We'll help you. We'll